folks, welcome to another vlog here with Stephen from tctsgroup.com. TCTS, Ireland Compliance by Global Software, you know the crack by now. Anyway, this is the start of the next vlog, which is like not even a day after the end of the last vlog. Anyway, I've barely got home for one night and I'm back on the road again, so yet again another hotel. Good enough spot, stayed on, we stay here right bit, to be fair, like, and you kind of get designated hotels close to places that we have. But so tonight we have a meeting with one of our clients from Shadow Accountability and Success Coaching. Absolutely obsessed with Shadow since it started in 2016. So yeah, client he's actually come from England. He's a job in Belfast today. He goes to Coleraine this evening, and then I'm meeting him tonight and we'll do his monthly one-on-one. He's brought a lot to the table, to be honest. You know, it's all about network, it's all about contacts, and as you know, we run a 90-day cycle on that, but later videos will explain more about that. This is the TCTS group channel. Remember, I also have a Stephen Smyth channel, which there are probably no videos on it at the moment because we try and just filter all through TCTS Group TV. A quick jaunt over to Scotland this afternoon and then back in on the late flight tonight for tomorrow morning, which is on-site transport compliance audit. We'll have two of our guys up on site as well, so I'll come up and lead the whole audit, and then we will see how we get on. But them guys is actually a 3-day audit, maybe a 2-day audit, can't mind. But I'm booked in for Wednesday and Thursday all day. We will audit every bit of their transport compliance, their operators license, risk management, risk mitigation, the accountability and management, the failures of management, the liabilities that people hold. We'll just audit it all on a full in-depth report, highlighting the failings. Remember guys, you know, I talk about failure all the time, and I talk about failure because you cannot improve what you do not measure, and the only way to measure is through the likes of auditing and assessments. And it's no matter what you do in business or life, you know, I talk about failure a lot, and many a time over the years, staff especially has said to me about, you know, you constantly talk about the failures more than the wins. And I do talk about the failures because failure is the only thing that will allow you to grow. You know, people don't go to the gym just to do a bit of a workout. You will usually work out to failure, whether you're doing arms or chest or back or whatever it is you're doing. You will push yourself to failure, because then when you get to your failure point, you know what to work on, how to work on it, what to improve, what to, you know, take away from it. So yeah, we have to do that to grow. Anyways, I'm going to run downstairs here. I have a couple of Teams calls with our media team, which we have a new media team in place. So we're going to get things set up. My arm is killing me. I don't know how people do this flapping thing on a phone. I need one of them pole stick things. Right, let's go. Alrighty folks, good morning. Don't know where I left off in the last clip. Anyway, we're just out of a meeting here with a new client, and yeah, I'm going to talk through a couple of issues we've found with this particular client, why we're in, what we're doing, and it's just the same no matter where we go, and it's all about failures of systems, processes, leadership, management, supervisory, but more importantly the failure of accountability. And without accountability you're absolutely nothing. So yeah, let me jump in the van here and we'll update. Alrighty folks, what about you? This is in Belfast. Hold on. Love of God. For the love of God. This is why I'm so professional at. Anyway, I think you're gonna stand there. Stay there. Anyways guys, it is 9:30 at night. It is Tuesday night, and I'm just back up there from the restaurant where I went down to get something to eat. And just as I went into the restaurant, I had to take a team video call, and then as I was just in the middle of eating the dinner, I had to then take a Zoom video call, and then just at the very end of the dinner, when I was trying to get up and away to come back to the room, I had to take a WhatsApp video call from a client of ours who was actually live roadside stop with DVSA in England. And yeah, live video call of a bit of a twist and match about the issue that DVSA enforcement thought there was. However, there was no issue on it, mechanical issue this is. So why am I so tight on that is because what DVSA will do, or what DVA will do, or RSA, any of them, is they will issue you immediate prohibition or a deferred prohibition on the roadside there and then. Now, say for example, in this case, right, so in this case, it was a roadside stop that the detecting officer was trying to put a prohibition on due to having no safety clip, dog clip in the fifth wheel, okay? However, the make of the fifth wheel did not require one, it's not manufactured like that there, and it has a chock lock in it, so it doesn't need it. And that was okay anyway, dealt with it. But the operator's cute enough now, he's a CCA client of ours for a long time, and he knew to get straight on just to see what is the story here. So my point is, it was very easy, and it is very easy because this happens all the time, for the enforcement officer to issue a prohibition and then acquit the prohibition there and then. So say for example, in this case, it was the dog clip wasn't in the fifth wheel, okay? And the driver got out and the detecting officer told him about this and he gave him a prohibition. But he says to the driver, if you now put in the clip, I will quit the prohibition and let you go on your way. So the driver thinks, happy days, no problem, my bad, let's get it done. And then away they go. However, this then is on your record, and this then brings about your red or amber rating depending on the weighted points of the prohibition. So we spend our weeks just overturning these decisions all the time. Listen, if it's critical, if it's bad, absolutely. You all know my own background, and I'm a fully support transport enforcement at all times when it's doing the job right and ensuring safe vehicles, safe drivers and safe loads are on the road. However, in 70% of cases, that's not correct. So yeah, it's very important to understand this, guys, because then you're constantly, writing to the department. You've 28 days notification as a nominated transport manager, as an operator. As you all know, and if you don't know, well, you should bloody know that anything like that needs to be reported back to your licensing authority, whether it's the traffic commissioners in England or whether it's the transport regulation unit in Northern Ireland. And you have to write an explanation, your life story, what happened, how did it happen, what have you done about it to make it not happen again. And our operators compliance team, just that's all they deal with day in, day out. Literally every week we're on to something like that. And a lot of the times it takes us a couple of days, a couple of hours over a couple of days to get the information back, such as maybe tyres, where we want to see a picture of the tyre. As you know, enforcement, they love getting a pen. Not a pen, they use a screwdriver to get down into feel for cord, which is fully unjustifiable. The basics we do for a driver daily walk around check training is for them maybe to use a pen. However, if you stick a bloody pen or a screwdriver into the top of a tyre sitting at 110 psi and you get the face blown off you, well, you deserve it. So therefore the regulators and enforcement now, as usual, are trying to push drivers down that way, which from a health and safety point of view is a no-go. We have to protect people at all times. And it's the same as fours and all this other stuff. Road safety has dropped dramatically. It has decreased at a rapid rate because of these stupid schemes and systems put in place. And yes, older guys will say we don't have the drivers these days that have a mechanical background, blah, blah, blah. That's okay, but what are they doing? Foot brake on, slip it into D, let the handbrake off. That's it. There is none of the stuff that we had years ago. We don't expect drivers to change wheels and all on, continental drives. No, that's not expected anymore. It's not even allowed anymore under health and safety legislation. So anyway, my point is, try to go into something deed, and that's 3 video calls. And I hate video calls. Yes, they're handy, but sometimes it's just constant all the time. It's not even video calls, just any sort of call. That the video calls are harder to manage because yes, it makes you more contactable to a certain extent. However, you just it's back to back all the time. And one of the things I hate is if somebody's down a restaurant eating and the speakers in or earphones in and they're just chatting away. I hate that. So I hate people having to listen to that and then to get up and leave to go out to the foyer to have a conversation. And anybody knows me knows I'm never off the phone anyway, so when you're out on your own, you've no problem because you'll do all day on calls, but you cannot get the work done, which is a big thing. So back here trying to upload footage to our editor to pull down for a YouTube video, and the internet here is so bad. It's been sitting here for about an hour and 20 minutes. I went away and came back and I still sit down doing what it has to do. Anyways, tomorrow we are what's happening tomorrow? Yeah, we're out on site, 2 days or 3 days, full transport compliance audit. The place will be shook inside out, turned upside down. All incompetence and incapability will be highlighted. The staff that are there getting excessively paid, maybe 80% over their worth and value, they will be detected. We will highlight all this. We will protect the operator, and we will highlight the liabilities in business. But also, we'll highlight the good people. So if the people's doing their job and they're compliant, happy days. We love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. And why do we not see that so much? I suppose that's one of the questions people always ask me. How come, have you ever had a past audit? Or an assessment even? And, it comes back to the people who's doing the job. Is like a transport manager, yourself, jump online, couple hours, you'll become an international transport manager. It has just degraded the whole system and the whole level of the qualification. But more importantly, and that's me that taught it for 12 years, that's, yes, the level is brought down, but even when I was teaching it, if we go back 10 years ago, that it was a higher level, it was a higher level of qualification when OCR ran it. But the most important bit is you do not teach people compliance. You teach them how to pass a basic exam, and the biggest exam is open book, so the answers are there for you. It's how quick you are flipping over the page is how you pass the exam. And it's not very unfair, because most transport managers going into the role do not understand compliance in any way. They will understand the book compliance, but they won't understand the real life compliance. And that's the big issue. So as I say, a lot of these staff, they're really qualified TMs with no relevant experience or compliance training. So remember, you do your transport management qualification and then you do your compliance training. 2 completely different courses. So these guys that's going out and doing this don't have the relevant experience, or there's somebody who was maybe in an admin post and they've been put into looking after maintenance, or they've been put in looking after drivers' errors and tachographs, or drivers themselves, trainers, inducting them, load security, all the basic stuff. And these guys have absolutely, first, no background, second, no experience, and third, absolutely no interest. And that's one of the big things. And you cannot say in a negative way, because most of the places we go in, someone will say, well, I was brought in here to do admin support and now I'm heading up the compliance. So it's not very productive that way. But yeah, so we'll go in there, shake that place. This company now, to be fair, it's a very, very large, food service company. And where I give it so much credit is to get independent audits done. Like, this just shows the mass competence and level of an operator, management, especially a transport manager if there's one in the business. Like, you cannot show any more high level competence than an independent audit, especially from someone like ourselves who's the authority in this stuff. Because you're opening the place up. And if that was me, like when I was transport manager, or like even what we do now with accrediting bodies, I loved to open the doors, bring people in and let them see the problems or any issues. It's not anything in-house doesn't work. And you hear me say this all the time. Health and safety cannot work internally. Compliance cannot work internally. Training cannot work internally. Them systems don't work internally. There's no accountability, there's no action, there's no responsibility. It can only be done by exported out, and that's the only way to work it. But anyway, it's been a long, long day, a long, long week. As I said, maybe at the start of this clip, I just finished the last video, which was over in Brands Hatch at the Superbike racing, and then literally 12 hours later, I'm in the vlog 2 here. I'm up in the other side of the country. I will be gone now for a couple of days as well. What have we got at the weekend? Saturday, I'm out myself again, delivering driver CPC training. Duke. But it's to one of our long-standing CCA clients, so we don't do open CPCs at all anymore. We could not be bothered with it. And actually, I'm just often getting an email there this evening from Jupe, with DVSA. Well, the joint approval for periodic training, which is now ran from through DVSA, and they've an email here now about prices, and the price is going up now, where they said there would be no price increase, but there will be for upload fees. And it does make me laugh, because guys are offering these CPC courses at the price that it takes to upload it. So that means that you have to be accredited, so you have to pay your fee for that. They must only have one course to even cover their cost. and they couldn't cover their cost if they're insured for professional indemnity. It's impossible, absolutely impossible. And we do a high mass of driver CPC. Like we're one of the biggest CPC providers about. And anyway, it's just what, like, even when you run about with a laptop in the back of the car, which most people do in this are, you'd be lucky to wash your face from that. Now, to be fair, I don't know how they do it, and I have no interest in knowing how they do it. So we do company bespoke driver CPC. We've turned away about probably 10 clients this year, which is 2025, because we're so busy it doesn't even fall into the remit of what we need to do. And we're in October now, so November is an exciting time every year. November, well, it's every quarter, but November's the big one, where we do a client review, and this is where we get rid of clients we do not want to work with, or clients that we do want to work with, but they're non-compliant. They will refuse to do the job right, and that's okay. And then we have other clients that, it just doesn't make, they just do not meet our standards, and they must go. Now, the beauty of that is we have a massive waiting list. So when we eradicate these other clients and terminate them, we can bring in these newer guys. And as I say, like, we have had clients over the years where we have terminated services or ended services with them. top guys, brilliant companies, absolutely fantastic. However, all we ever boast about is who's got your back, protection and support. That's it. Protection, support, reassurance, training. That's all we talk about. So when we cannot go toe to toe with anybody in this world to protect your business and your livelihood, save your staff, save your business, save your livelihood, well, then you don't fit into our ethos, you don't fit into our standards, and therefore we cannot lower our standards for people. We will do ad hoc jobs, absolutely, no problem, but they cannot be a recurring client. That's just not the way it works. So yeah, we're very fortunate that we do have a big waiting list of guys, and there are some clients that you're always disappointed in having to do this with, but you'd spend a long time trying to get them to the level they should be at. You get them to the level every time. You get them over the level. You exceed all expectations on their side. However, they slip back very, very quickly, and then it's a pure babysitting match. And the only babysitting match we do is level 6, and level 6, a lot of guys do not want to pay for a level 6, which is a 6-figure monthly recurring fee, and a lot of them don't want to pay for it. So that's it. Right, we need to go on here and might pick up footage tomorrow out in site. I don't know. Anyway, it's been a long day. We'll chat to you in the morning. Adios. Alrighty, folks, good morning. Good morning. It is a absolutely beautiful morning here. Wednesday morning, we are in Coleraine with a client to conduct a transport compliance audit, 2-day audit, maybe 3-day audit. So I'm first on site here, get everything lined up and ready to go, and then we have 2 other guys that will be on site to conduct all the assessment parts of the audit, and we'll get kicked off for a full day of auditing. So hopefully, well, I might get a bit of content, you know the crack. I usually forget because we're that engrossed in what we do and trying to be as productive as we can, because we don't be busy, we be productive. 2 completely different things. Right, let's get at it. So, as you can see me here, I don't have time to sit and do the camera right, but just doing a continuity fleet inspection, which is a roadside technical inspection vehicle. Yeah, we're down here in sunny old Coleraine. Let's see, trying to get more confident in this vlogging thing. Okay, Other side. Which isn't too bad. Not too bad, these yokes. That's all. One of the big issues that we're having them was the likes of the diesel cap for the fridge motor diesel tanks. A lot of them don't seal in a lot of these, you know, body builds that's on here, but yeah, not bad nick at all. Obviously you'll always find something, like a wee defect. The drivers are good, and your main point of control measure is your driver doing a proper, sufficient daily walk around check. Right, let's keep going. So one of the most important parts of doing a daily walk around check, even though they have a tyre management contract and tyres are in good nick as in tread depth, but you do come across problems like if you run your hand over it. Now I know there's a daft which needs towed on a regular basis, but that's not already, guys. So we are finished up on site today. It is now 7 p.m. I need to get now to a client of ours to sit on interviews for him for his management team, and it's bad when he has to get someone like me in to sit in interviews because it's all about accountability. You just dissect every CV, the bullshit that runs out of people is colossal. But anyway, we go in here, hopefully we'll get him. He's looking for 4 particular managers. Hopefully we'll get him the right people. We may not. And it's embarrassing trying to vlog and people waving at you, like anyway, yes, let's get this done and bring a bit of passion to it and a bit of fire to it and see what's in these people. He's very, very cute man because it's 7 p.m. interview. He will interview at night. He will interview on Saturdays and Sundays and holidays. And I can do the same myself. I love the way he does that because that just shows the mass capability of people. Yeah, very, very interesting. Right, stand by. Well, I can guarantee you one thing. I will never be able to get that time in my life back again. I'm just coming on here the next evening, the next afternoon from last night. What an absolute waste of time. I just don't get it. I don't know the amount of victims in this world. These so-called victims of life, victims of employment, victims of, oh my God, I never seen such a whinging shower of incompetent, incapable people. Well, I have gone through it myself, but where do people go with this? I don't understand. Anyway, we didn't do them interviews last night with this guy, and you know, there's times when you push for growth in business and you push for growth in services and all, and you just see that there are very little people coming through, you know, and all these guys were 40 plus and just they have nothing to bring. They have nothing to offer anywhere, I don't know. And you often hear me say this before, guys, when you hear people saying they don't leave bad jobs, they leave bad bosses, and you've heard me say this for years now, always monitor, analyse that person and their CV, because it's the same type of person every time. Toxic workplaces, toxic bosses, travel, it's just the same thing. Remember, one golden rule of life is for things to change, you must change. And it's the same type of person over and over again. I feel sorry for him because, as I was saying there, you know, focus on growth and all is great, it's 100%, but when you don't have the people to come with you, it's, I don't know, like, he's a big company, and I don't know, like, I just don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, the power of AI, we need to invest heavily. We need to make sure we have the government on board. We need AI to be pushed heavily, and that leaves the lower people in jobs at the moment to rise and shine. You know, I actually said to him, there's 4 particular people within, he has 6 businesses, and there's 4 particular people in his businesses, through other businesses of his and other sites, that I have just put last night to him. I says, you need to bring these people in and just spend a bit of time on them and effort on them and get them trained up, because they have every asset that you're looking for. They have every skill set, they have every mindset, and more importantly, they have the right attitude. So he's only have to text me. That's what made me put up the video. He's only have to text me to say, I've been thinking about it all night. I think you're right. Let's start looking at these guys. So again, if they want career development, he wants to invest in them. We'll train them. We'll do everything we can for them. And you know, I just don't get it. The lack of accountability is crazy in this world. Anyway, today I'm just up here doing a site visit, but on property site visit. But yeah, this morning's just been back to back with our own staff management and micromanaging the other staff, trying to decide what we're going to do with different people in different offices and different divisions. As I say, November is always a very, very good time because this is where we do our client review. We look at our client set, we see who we're keeping, who we're not keeping. Yeah, there's a lot of big decisions to be made, and you know, it's exciting times on one side of it, and other times it's completely draining, just completely draining. But this morning we're dealing with 2 court cases, one again for overweight, another one for not operating a vehicle in accordance with the licence. What does that mean? It means some clown down the road, vehicle not listed on the licence, he's got caught, vehicle's been pounded, and yeah, like I don't even want to take it on. Only we are his solicitors, barrister, me an expert witness. I have to do this for them, not the operator themselves, because you know, that's where the fair competition comes into in regarding operators license legislation. It is fair competition. And this guy, he didn't have enough authority on his license. He took on too much work, which means he's undercut everybody else, and he'll till up and down the road. You know, he'll never be caught. But that's what he thought, and then he was caught, and now that's just the way it is. And the driver's left the roadside as well, which is an issue. But yeah, that deal with this morning, client meetings in the afternoon time, finished up a client's meeting for health and safety. Now, this particular client, very, very large client in Northern Ireland, as a large client, as a large business, and we've done bits and pieces for them, and we don't take them on as a client, we take them on as a customer because they're a high risk liability company. Really what that means is they have absolutely no interest in health and safety, no interest in compliance, they want to take a couple of boxes. Listen, the country's full of them people, our standards don't meet that, so they want to come on board and get A, B, C and D done. So I'll see you in December. We have their investor board, we're meeting with their investor board in the middle of December. We will then make a decision. They want a decision now, they want a decision no later than the end of January. I am tied up with software in December, January, February. A lot of software going on, trying to bring in some co-founders, not co-founders, I founded it, but partners in the business, investors in the business. There's a lot of things in the background that we're doing very, very heavily on software and very, very heavily on AI assisted software. So yeah, you know, it comes back to the point of when these boys be whinging at me and saying, you know, why do you not do work? Why do you not want to work with us and all this crack? It's not a personal thing. You have to remember, when somebody has no interest, like all we boast about is protection, support, training and reassurance. We've got your back. We go toe to toe with anybody. There's not a commissioner, there's not a court, there's not nothing that's ever beat us in the way that we do things, because it would be impossible to, because everything's done right. And that means that we have to set a standard, and that standard has to be met on a regular basis. And as I keep saying, you cannot be 100% compliant. Of course you can't. However, you just can't bury your head in the sand. And this is why health and safety internally never works, and compliance never works internally, and driver training never works internally. So I get this a lot from guys, and it's not a attitude, it's not a, listen, I'm the big man and turn away all these people. It's understanding what the bigger picture is, because a lot of times we have worked for companies where we knew did not meet our standards, and they're no longer here. And that goes with a lot of them. They're no longer here. They're no longer a business. They're no longer employing. And not all the time go bust and into liquidation. Yes, 98% of them, but there's other ones just wind down and that's it. Currently I'm very heavily tied up with acquisitions of businesses, and on that note, if you are interested in selling your business, come and talk to me, especially within the business realm that we specialise in, but that also goes on to our properties and our transport company and our software and things like that. So, you know, there's a lot of people out there are getting a certain age, and if I look at the likes of training, even just for example, there's a lot of training companies that are older companies and they maybe only him, the husband and wife or the son or brother or whoever it is, and they're looking to get out. So if you're looking to get out, you're never going to get anything for your business. Don't just shut it down, possibly sell the business. You know, sell your book, sell your contacts, sell the current work that you have. We're only interested in businesses that are generating, and mainly when you buy a business, you buy the staff, which is the biggest thing. So come and talk to us, drop us an email to info@smythenterprises.com, and yeah, get the conversation open. Anyways, we need to get out of here now because we have 2 teams meeting with staff. One that's kind of not an induction, but we need to show them around our systems and processes, and it hasn't been being done correctly, so I'm going to have to jump on with this guy and go through all the systems with him. However, yeah, decisions have to be made all over the place. Right, the guy from last night, sorry, texted me. That's why I'm on this clip here, but just reminded me that, you know, from my point of view, let's just spend the time and dedication on them people, because I'd be watching this from the outset. I'm working with this guy, I don't know, many years now, 8-9 years. I watch all this from the outset, and I can give him 4 people straight away that can go into them roles. And now he's starting to get a wee bit excited about it as well, which is fantastic, because you really see the true people and you see the true potential in people. You see the people that are doers and the ones that are criers. That's it, just whinge and cry about everything that goes on, and they bring nothing to the table whatsoever. And then there's other people that you need to really focus on, because they are class people. Right, next meeting, let's get out of here. Alright folks, good morning. It is Saturday morning. We're up here in Carrick House for some company bespoke driver CPC training. So, place all half ready to go. We can set up and do the business. It's another Saturday. It's another driver CPC. It's another puke of a course. But we'll make it interesting and have a bit of crack with the boys. It's the plan. Alrighty folks, so that's it, another driver CPC finished up here with an absolutely fantastic bunch of guys from MK's Transport as usual, a good bunch of experienced professional drivers, and yeah, driver CPC, you all know my take on it. However, if the content's correct, if the content's relevant, if the trainers have the right experience, then we can make it into a good day, knowledgeable day for the guys. Remember, these here are experienced professional drivers, and we're not here to tell anybody how to suck eggs. However, we will highlight all the requirements on how to protect operator's license, how to protect you, the driver themselves, for weights and measures and tachograph offences and mechanical defects, and going to driver hearings and public inquiries and offences at the roadside. Because remember, it's your driver license only, it's your digicard, it's your date only, and from a driver CPC, well then, we need to be fit to protect all these guys. So, yeah, let's get the hell out of here. I might put in a wee clip here that we've put up on social media. I got a wee bit frisky here, to be fair, and the boys kind of left their mark before they left, so I might clip it in here somewhere. Anyways, let's get out of here to the next job.